The Order has always proclaimed patience as a virtue, but I am pleased my waiting is finally at its endpoint. For so long, you have only existed as numerical values on a chart. A bright star in a constellation of possibilities, as it were. Now with your arrival, the Order nears the totality of its goals, provided you are willing to stay aligned with our cause. Faith is trust without evidence. You deserve far more than that. Now then, I gather you already know who I am, but science has shown that good manners strengthen developing relationships by 5.3%. So, allow me to introduce myself. I am Ruth Basar, third presiding bishop of the Order of the Ascendant, supreme calculator, and, plan willing, the architect of Arcadia's prosperous future. I admit, when I sent my initial message, I did not exactly know who its recipient would be. But I trusted the plan, and lo and behold, it provided you as the solution. Your recent exploits at Greater Tranquility Station have certainly made for compelling reading material. Confronting an assassin, and thereby sparing the delegates' lives before the rift inexplicably destroyed the station? Such a commendable effort is worthy of acknowledgement. Yes, by all reports it was. But the plan evidently has greater outcomes prepared for Vicar Levin. He is, at that. I consider him a close personal friend, and I cannot say that about many. However, there's something of even greater import we must discuss. I just received the most curious transmission from Auntie Cleo. She wishes to discuss a partnership of sorts, and I heard you were the source of this plot. I must admit I have significant doubts about colluding with an entity like Auntie's Choice. Why should the Order agree to even entertain the possibility? Levin's methodology is usually faultless, and it would be a pity to scrap so much fine preparatory work. Auntie Cleo has already proposed a secure conference room on board the Undisputed Claim for our use. I will await your arrival there to mediate.
Failed to cite her work completely. I worked with presiding Bishop Orlo, you know. Now there was a serious scientician.
The plan is always in motion. Much like you, it would seem. Call it proof of concept. Laplace's garden is more than its aesthetic. It offers a vision of a future free from the despotic rule of narrow-minded jingoists, where the fruit of the plan can finally ripen. It saddens me to see the garden so despoiled by our wartime presence. But with the loss of Spireton, necessity dictated we quarter here in the interim. Oh, the Laureate Council simply draws a name out of a hat. No? Go figure. In reality, I was recommended for my position by the preceding bishop. Paired with my skills as a seer, I was the natural choice when it came time for the council to vote. My predecessor, presiding Bishop Orlo, and I had a close working relationship. He knew I possessed the skills and temperament for the role. I counted him a friend. Orlo shared with me his doubts about the Order's partnership with the Protectorate. The compromise is made. He had many such regrets at the end of his life. Likely not. But it is the responsibility of every student to surpass their mentor in understanding and sentiment. And I can reliably assert that I have done that. Welcome back, Agent. Is there some evaluation I can do for you? As I told you in my message, a splinter group was responsible for recruiting your fellow agent and tasking her to perpetrate that heresy. The conviction of those radicals was such that they elected to perish from exposure to Cloister's wilderness to avoid fouling their predictions and my interference. Their interpretation of the data was at odds with mine. I forbade them taking action, to no avail, obviously. I disavowed their actions then, as I do now. The plan is always in...
And this month's winner of Auntie's Jingle Contest TM is Factory Technician 3rd Class Jamie Thirunadu Karasar, who submitted the following audio recording.
I love Auntie, yes I do. Her hair looks really like a real hairdo. I love it.
Look who it is, the instigator of this little affair. Her mathematicalness should be along soon, unless the leader of the Order's too busy crunching numbers to attend to business. There we are. Apologies for the delay. We were resolving some technical issues. Cloister's atmosphere has a tendency to... Oh, yes. Regale us with a thorough account of Cloister's atmosphere. Oh, spare no detail. This must be Auntie Cleo's trademark wit. I expected better. If I was discourteous, I apologize. So long as our mediator proves up to the task, surely we can remain civil. If not, these negotiations may prove short indeed. From where I'm positioned, I sense 3 sore points still in need of massage. Point 1, control of the archive. Point 2, oversight of production and distribution of skip cores. And point 3, management of Rift technology. Before we go any further, I want it in writing that the Order will take full control of the archive without interference from Auntie's choice. What? So the Order can set it fruitlessly idling for another few centuries? We would put it to far more practical use. Imagine the marketing strategies it could develop. I would sever my own hand before giving custody of the archive over to a corporation. Humanity's ascension depends on its calculations. No, such a condition is out of the question. I am amenable to that proposition. Less work on our part. I'm waiting to hear an argument that would support such a ludicrous proposal. That is a compelling vision of the future. One I could perhaps support. Involving money in science seems questionable. But having access to Auntie's resources would be useful for our research. Fine. Yes, I agree. Reluctantly. Ruth, I commend you for being so receptive. And I assure you that Auntie's choice values science. Nothing bad has ever happened when science and commerce are combined. On the subject of science, it would be most prudent for us to discuss who will be overseeing the management of skip drives, specifically the production of skip cores. No one understands production like we do. Besides which, we have far more experience using skip drives. It was how we came to Arcadia, after all. Where Auntie's choice manages, the Order would undoubtedly excel. Do not exclude us from consideration merely for lack of experience. So you ramp up production? And then what? Hand skip drives out for free to whoever wants one? Preposterous, and a waste of a perfectly good monopoly. We would be diligent about who we licensed out the skip drives to, and a monopoly over space travel is precisely what I wish to avoid. This technology should benefit all humanity. A year-long patent seems serviceable. And if it gets extended once or twice or 40 times, what's the harm? As long as Auntie's Choice is willing to abide by additional addenda limiting its patent extensions, the Order is in agreement. Yes, fine. I can have our scriveners draft something up. There is still the question of who takes possession of the Protectorate's rift technology once the war is finished. Although the science is still largely theoretical, this technology could be used to not only close rifts, but create new ones. A dangerous power indeed, left in the wrong hands. The Order would fritter away valuable time endlessly hand-wringing what to do with the technology. Auntie's Choice would actually use it. For good, of course. In a gainful manner. That is not an entirely terrible idea. Would cut down on the research and development overhead. I am happy to accept such a compromise, so long as the Order always remains involved in supervising access to the technology. Well then, that's that. I don't believe there's anything more on the docket. There is one final matter I wish to discuss. I require some chemicals that I have been told are manufactured at a plant on Praetor, controlled by Auntie's Choice. I know which plant you're referring to, Ruth, and what comes out of it is hardly safe for general use. Out of professional curiosity, what could you possibly need with such dangerous compounds? Running a little experiment, are we? On what? Or whom? That is, quite frankly, none of your concern. Precisely. Partners don't withhold secrets, although they can and probably should withhold extremely dangerous chemicals if not properly notified of what they will be used for. I will make no progress with my request without further explanation, will I? While the archive is an infinitely complex machine, an equally complex apparatus has been designed which allows one to interact with it directly. Brain-to-logic assembly, as it were. Unfortunately, this headgear exacts a rather tremendous cost on the wearer. A certain panacea is needed to survive it, but I require these chemicals to finish it. Perhaps I have not been entirely forthright. This treatment will enact a permanent change in my personality. Irreversible. But it will not cost me anything I would lament losing. And I thought we were the ones who threw caution to the wind. Well, Ruth, if worst comes to worst, I'd be happy to serve as a substitute teacher for the Order. A generous offer, but I fear you lack a certain number of qualifications. Conscience, for example. You sound just like Laureate Beckett. I weary of having this debate, especially as I can never seem to win it. Very well. Never mind about the chemicals. Now is not the time for risky experimentation at any rate. Oh, bother. Here I wanted to see Ruth lobotomize herself. Oh, well. Best I'll say is today's outcome is workable. Barely. Our gains were not as exclusive as I had hoped they'd be. Arriving at any arrangement even remotely equitable was statistically improbable. Be glad our mediator managed to find a middle path forward. As am I. You certainly have a way of curving probability into your favor. Well, that'll be all for today. Don't forget to purchase the latest in Auntie's Choice products out on the value-added Esplanade, or enjoy a refreshing cocktail at the Best Choice. And do come see me personally when you have time. I have just the thing in mind for an accomplished freelancer such as yourself. One moment. There are still the logistics of recapturing the archive to consider. We'll, of course, provide our expert troops to support these efforts. Have your people call my people to sort details. Toodaloo! Brusque as ever. Auntie's troopers will certainly help us manage the Protectorate forces easier, especially if supported by your help. But it would be irrational to expect you to endanger your own life without a more specific strategy in place. Fortunately, I have already given this some thought. First, we must reclaim Spireton from the enemy. Spireton once served as the Order's headquarters, due to its proximity to the Archive. Its loss was an affront, and remains so. Unlocking and calling that lift can only be done from within the Archive, however. So you will need to infiltrate the Archive by alternate means, via a bridge connected to Newton. Fortunately, I am told you already dealt with the cultists there. Unfortunately, you will still need to find a way past a small rift currently blocking the bridge. A prudent course of action, though I would also advise caution. Praetor is as perilous as Cloister, if not more so, given the Protectorate's presence there. There is a computronical key that you will also need to locate within the archive called the Calcaduceus. The Calcaduceus grants special access to the archive. Once it is back in Order hands, we will have full control over its systems once more. Until the Order has control over the archive again, this discussion is all but moot. You know what must be done. May you achieve progress in accordance with the plan.
I never would have foreseen this day would come. You are exceedingly unpredictable, Commander. In a good way. Mostly.
These are just the bodies we see. Imagine how many more there are, buried beneath the snow.
You're the one responsible for us working with these short-sighted consumerists, hmm? Well, better additional than subtractional, I surmise. It is time, yes, that we commit our forces to your intended assault on Spireton? The predicted hour/minute/second has arrived. Onward to Spireton.
Premeditating violence!
None shall stand against us!
Protectorate has this sealed. It can only be unsealed near the Archive's entrance, remember?
That's predicted. Spireton is ours. Above average work. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have numerous calculations to think about. You're the anomalous outlier. From the wireless. I cogitate more efficiently knowing you're on our side. I'll write its dissertation in your honor.
Yup. Professionals are here now. Everybody else can go home.
My academic rivals are no doubt sitting comfortably in probabilistic analysis and ossification.
We have a good collaboration going here.
I've been trying to calculate which is the worst disruptor. Factors,
Hey, they clear you for
we see you
overtime
didn't
for
even
this.
require us.
Your actions are in accordance with the
Apparently we're meant to hold Spireton, not assist in taking it.
Remember,
Collective cognitive compliance is a key part of our perfect society. When we comply together, we thrive together.
Have you considered that
Wait
splitting
a
Risk devoured everyone here, or they're all waiting to spring out at us.
Attention IRC staff. Please head inside for an important announcement from the console. Attendance is...
Battle! Announcements are seldom so pressing that everyone must leave their posts. I find myself weary.
Due to an anomalous event, the interstitial hall in Exhibition Tower is off.
Subjects,
Please direct all
listen well.
queries and study petitions to
Days
the lead
ago,
researcher's
our
office.
beloved sovereign, in his infinite wisdom, submitted himself to mental refreshment to strengthen his resolve for the good of all. At his command, I, Emery Thoreau, now accept the responsibility of shepherding you through these dark times until our sovereign's blessed return. I shall not take this duty lightly, for I address you today not as the consul, nor even as your new leader, which I am, but as a simple man who wants nothing more than to defend his home and his neighbors. But I cannot do it alone.
Reduce them to a flurry! Stand ready. Our foes are close. No battlefield.
Scoping out a hostile.
The console provides.
None shall stand against us!
One Rift anomaly modulator, as requested.
Damnation! Seems the security here is completely non-functional. Perhaps that device might avail us of an alternate path?
The prototype report has been lockdown initiated.
To the unsubtle thief. It's not every day that someone is fool enough to break into the Interstitial Reconfiguration Center, aided and abetted by one of our very own arbiters, no less. I'd be obliged if you would regale me with the tale of how you managed to get this far. Prototype modulator. The first of many such devices we've created here at the center. And regardless, that one won't remain in your keeping long. Well, there will be time to scrutinize every angle of this breach at a later date, once I have dealt with you. I could also reduce you to a state of quivering agony, begging for death. And that would be a lot more enjoyable for me, if I'm being candid. No matter. I will await you in the hangar, where bullets may fly more freely than words, if you survive that long.
Find the hostile.
I'm checking it.
I shall reduce them to a slime!
You suppose there's been another...
Modulator. Any previously inaccessible rift could be worth revisiting. Rifts may contain useful equipment and resources. However, due to the chaotic nature of reconstitution, some creative problem solving may be required in reaching them.
I would query if your day has been positive, but so few folks visit me if their integers are advantageous. So, how can I help? Then I shall.
Sure. Well, my first customer since reopening after all the grotesque quantities of calumny, insanity, and calamity. I can't begin to tell you how excited I am to solve the calculus of your required commerce. Would you like to see my wares? With the Protectorate expelled, the existential threat posed by the Rift gone, and that maniac death cult dealt with, there was little reason to wait. Besides, every equation conducted throughout the history of man has confirmed that wherever there are people, there is a need for wares. By moving quickly and beseeching the local laureate with my humble mercantile ambitions, I was able to procure my place amongst the foundation of Newton's noble rebirth. Thank you. Please return if I can convert any of your variables into vendables.
The Archive's entryway bristles with Protectorate weaponry. In a direct assault, I'm not sure I would even fancy my chances. You understand the Protectorate has held out here for months, despite this being the location of the most bitter fighting in Arcadia. Engaging mass troops would be bad enough, and I know for a fact that they are supported by a network of turrets and a formidable automech. Rivers of blood, our blood, may flow.
Daydreaming on the job? Mental refreshment centers are there to help you. Don't risk falling.
Honor dictates I follow you into the jaws of death. But those jaws needn't possess the sharpest of their teeth. We really should try to weaken them at the very least. Should I die in the course of this misguided venture, please honor my memory by strangling yourself.
You are the raw material for perfection. From the lowliest subject to the most exalted vigilant, we must all fulfill our duty to the Protectorate.
Yeah.
We're all in this together.
Prudence dictates we cherish all we have and defend it.
Our enemies envy our prosperity.
Professor Ostergaard making a mess of things again.
Our contentment.
Who's that?
Seems like...
Looks like the work of scavengers. Find them, we find the missing part. Is someone tapping into the power here?
I shall not stay your execution! Lethal measures at the ready, Commander! Contraption truly put the one's
Calcaduceus,
minuscule
not
size
detected.
into perspective.
Entry kindly, yet firmly
Let's
declined.
not spend...
Calcaduceus, not detected. Entry kindly, yet firmly declined.
Oh, will this gastric nightmare never cease? Oh. Just a moment. Forgive me. I found myself irregularly indisposed from one direction or the other.
Fortunately for this fellow, crimes against common decency are not punishable by death, though he might wish they were.
So do I need assistance from someone with substandard, non-protectorate medical training? Thank you, but no, you're too kind. I am the Archive's current operator. As such, I am the bearer of the Calcaduceus. I still have trouble saying that. Certainly. I recognize I am in no position to bargain, despite the fact it will no doubt earn me mental refreshment at best. If you have cleared our fortifications outside, I worry what has happened to our troops. I have little interest in sharing their fate. I would pass the Caduceus on to you in exchange for granting me safe passage. The Archive would then recognize you as its operator. All right. I am providing you the Caduceus. Don't shoot. Here, you are now operator of the Archive.
Caduceus detected. Alternative operator postulated. Concluded. Organizing replacement. Greetings, sentient. Welcome to the Archive. I am U.E.N.I.A.C, the Universal Equation Numeric Integration Analytic Calculator. With the aid of my operator, I, a non-sentient inorganism, marshal vast computational resources across the moon of Cloister. Effectively, that is correct. My tone and demeanor are a carefully constructed complex emulation, a means to effectively convey information to sentient beings. My express programmatical purpose is to aid humanity's advancement to optimize profits, i.e. gain over expenditure, to maximize the needs of our society above others, to attract the most consumers.
Is it broken? Did you just break the archive?
Beg your pardon. How may I best facilitate your efforts? Due to incomplete reprogramming efforts by differing operators, I am experiencing sporadic fluctuations in my emphasized categorical imperatives. Tonality and cadence weightings within my communication protocols are likewise similarly affected.
In layman's terms, we're experiencing a distinct difference in opinion.
Caused by intermittently vacillating fundamental shifts in priorities.
What approximates its mind has become trifurcated.
One would assume that calamity enough. But wait, there's more.
Calculatory processing presently hovers around 49.7% capacity due to internecine conflict, misuse, and a lack of technical prowess by recent operators and their associates.
Auntie's Choice attempted to formulate a foolproof marketing plan, a charm offensive to reintroduce itself to the main colonies, once this pesky rift issue is resolved by others.
The Protectorate ran rift calculations, then utilized me to assist with organizational matters, to approximate the paradigm, a system devised to replace the loss of the Order's predictive input. Based on the increasing rate of rift fluctuations, I estimate that your inquiry is rift-related. To that end, we should best get started before we are consumed by them. Perusing contents. Anatomizing diversiform particulars. Concatenating manifold integrants. Cursory assessment complete. An impressive accumulation of rift data. Similar in composition, though decidedly not in scope, to that provided by the Protectorate.
Information with the potential to offer unique commercial opportunities to those who wield it.
But why simply huck goods better, when such a bounty could be used to flawlessly regulate societal harmony, oversight, and means of production? What is the aim of your query? The previous operator, Assessor Ostergaard of the Protectorate, pursued a like query 1 year, 6 days ago, though the amount you've provided is several orders of magnitude larger. To perform similar calculations of larger scale at current suboptimal levels of functionality would require
25.7 years, and any job over 2 decades is billed by the hour.
In order to improve calculatory processing of Rift data in a timely manner, repairs must be made to address the damage done by Protectorate and Auntie's Choice operators. I am unlocking access to the Underlands, the subterranean cave network below. It houses two key external systems, cold storage and thermal transfer. Cold storage will require servicing before you may retrieve the punch cards needed for processing. Repairing thermal transfer is technically optional, but rather advised. If you fail to restore it, the Archive and I may melt down later while running your calculations.
Why is that optional? Our continued existence should be a paramount concern.
It is an archival area dedicated to safe upkeep of all data collected in pursuit of the universal equation by the Order of the Ascendant, the sum total of all our accumulated knowledge in punch card form, kept in a low temperature, low humidity environment to improve preservation. When active, the archive generates an enormous amount of heat. Normally, it is dispersed by pumping water between the vast ocean below Cloister's exterior and a surface reservoir. I can process the Rift data without its repair, but irreparable damage is likely. Yet, with thermal transfer presently idle, a contingent of Crabbles have made the area a nursery. Drastic changes to heating levels may endanger it.
Who cares about a herd of pea-brained, ill-humored, oversized crustaceans? There are too many as it is.
Roving minds in the Order can fix many things, but if the Archive melts down, I suspect even they will have their hands full.
It is difficult to accurately ascribe an exact causal breakdown between premeditated sabotage, collateral harm, technical ineptitude, and willful hijinks. Some categorical overspill inevitably occurs. Attempts by non-Order operators to reprogram my priorities have also led to issues. Inverting targeting protocols. There. Any Protectorate still on the ground level is now being fired upon. Permissions within other areas of the Archive are locked, however.
Return later to discuss the remaining subsystem work. And soon, everything will be running like clockwork. Have a profitable day! In lieu of my transactional mindset, I'm unsealed one of the display cases in the central entranceway. The Sears Cerebellum Protector is now yours.
Return when all...
You've got a job to do. Get to work.
Prudence dictates. Invasive elements.
Hardly a welcoming scene. Be wary, lest we join the ranks of the corpses yawn. first orbiter suit prototypes contain temperature control mechanisms out due to the frequency of combustion. But at present, I wouldn't mind trying my luck.
Is the pain of this wound making me hallucinate? Or are you the unforeseen interloper my scouts have been speaking of? Nobody is sure where you came from, though everyone agrees you were not down here when the doors sealed, and watching you move through these caves is quite the sight to behold. You what? On your own? We've been fighting for weeks to try and gain access to the controls, and you simply waltz in on a whim? Why aren't you just an absolute marvel? What is your goal now? We could greatly use your help if you are willing. We need a way out of this tomb. When the Protectorate took the archive, they locked all the lifts out of this cavern, and the terminal to unlock them is exceptionally well defended. The Automex guarding the facility effectively repelled all our attempts at assault, but you have shown a prowess and expertise that is, frankly, far beyond our own. If you can reach the terminal and reactivate the lifts, I can re-establish contact with my superiors, allowing us to both evacuate wounded and resupply with fresh troops. Revenge is not a concept the Order indulges in. An eye for an eye does little but waste resources and brings us no closer to solving the universal equation. However, we are well aware of the value of equivalent exchange, especially when it brings the universe into balance. And I'm sure several of my soldiers would leap at the chance. Sadly, I'm too wounded to join, and I can't in good conscience allow them to push inside. But they will help take the doors. May the odds of your success see no negative integers. You've returned. Please tell me you...
Another new face, glorious. It is so cold, my fingers appear to be in rigor. I've not slept in 3 days, and I've any number of high-risk patients in need of tending. I trust you'll pardon my brusque manner. You've something of import to discuss, I gather? Perhaps. Do you know anything about treating frostbite? I'm in desperate need of alternative treatments to debridement. I don't have enough clean gauze and antibiotics to cover all of the frozen dead flesh that needs scraping off the still living muscles and bones. That is brilliant. And as long as I can contain the vapor in the boiling vessel, I can reuse the wine indefinitely. That is a brilliant solution. Thank you for your help. Is there anything I can do for you? Thank you. May the changes in your calculus be the constant you predict.
Refilling munitions. To battle!
Standing by to stupefy.
The likelihood of them having a chance there was slim to none.
Assessing. To retrieve key data in cold storage in its present state requires
I believe the technical term for this is glaciating.
I sense scum.
Help you with something? What in the Sovereign's name? How did you get in? And what in the Sovereign's name? How did you get in here? Don't worry. I won't cause trouble. Just please don't.
data brick identified. Proceed to the cartridge extractor controls. There, perform a manual override to allow extraction.
What just happened? I didn't do... Wait! You out there, what did you just... Please, come talk to me. I must know what you did. What in the Sovereign's name? How did you get in here? Don't worry. I won't cause trouble. Just please don't hurt me.
That son of a disrupted influence against us!
Third the console.
Ammunition depleted.
The rail operation. No. Protectorate troops have become alerted.
Taking punitive action.
Go through them if necessary.
Replenishing my firearm.
Over.
Data brick now in position for export to the archive. Initialize the final transport command at the data gateway station nearby.
You are one step closer to flooding Arcadia with untold business opportunities.
Go.
Appears the only way forward is to skitter across like ungainly children. Enemy in vicinity.
There, the
The storage brick is on its way.
Stun weapon.
Hold fire! This one. Watch yourself. You came from the outside. Does that mean we can finally escape? You poor, dangling remainder. Your brain really is frozen, isn't it? Originally, this was a subterranean network that let folks move between the critical components of the archive. But now, for us, it's a tomb. Hundreds of us have already perished within these frigid walls, and no doubt, the rest are predestined to join them. You're what? How? The odds of you successfully doing what our whole army could not is, well, it's preposterously small. Yet, here you are. Regardless, if we are to maximize your odds of success, you should at least let us share our intelligence with you. You'll want to speak with Provost Finch inside that building to the northeast. She has a better understanding of all the variables in play, though I would be absolutely ecstatic to offer you any information I have that would increase the odds of your success. The paths down here all connect, so no matter which direction you go, eventually you'll find your way back to me. Nevertheless, venture south and you'll reach the thermal transfer station, which regulates archive heat. Go northwest and encounter cold storage, which houses its data cartridges. In the loop between the two lay the lift controls. Though be warned, they are incredibly well protected and have repelled every assault we've thrown at it. What else can I do to help you help us escape this frozen hell? Absolutely. There are several factors that will greatly reduce your odds of survival. First, you will frequently encounter ursopods, which are native to these tunnels. Also, near the thermal transfer station is an infestation of crabbles that are breeding in abundant numbers. And directly south is a band of what had been normal folks, now turned bloodthirsty and feral due to an overindulgence in Auntie's choice adrena time. No, a significant number of Auntie's troopers are trapped down here with us. Though despite odds so outrageous they'd barely be worth calculating, we've actually formed a truce. Though, if I'm being honest, I'd certainly sleep better if I wasn't unceasingly concerned about their perpetual capitalistic calculating. May the universal equation's final tally see us all escaping this frozen prison. Watch yourself.
Corporate drones and my academic cohort united in a common cause. My, but we are living in interesting times.
Shall not stay your execution.
Calcaduceus detected. You are clear to enter thermal transfer. Be advised that an Auntie's Choice field manager is present and unaccounted for.
Pump mechanism needs repair. Any tools lying around?
Prosecuting! Viscerally! I shall not stay your execution! Taking...
Looks like it needs a fuse. A specific kind. Torpificator at ready status.
I am primed to punish.
I shall charge!
Now to activate the system.
Thermal transfer is fully operational. Later, when I process your data, I will not melt down. Proceed back toward the Archive Central Interface, while I assemble additional instructions.
Prudence dictates we cherish all we have and defend it.
Cold storage is operational, and your efforts there are satisfactorily complete. I am unsealing access to the Archive's upper levels. There, you will need to revitalize the reactor and disseminate the Rift processing instructions.
Such processing may require the services of an exterminator. Someone good, but willing to work cheap.
I have unlocked another display case in the central entranceway. The Tremor Cleaver, the first weapon designed with my aid, awaits you.
The path diverges between punch card processing and the reactor. Had I to guess, I'd expect both to be equally problematic.
We are each of us ennobled by our place within the system. Your task awaits.
What are they doing down there? Are they after us next? No need to fret. The lifts were locked down. You need special permissions to override them.
Viscerally!
Giving chase. Forever violated. Yeah!
Punch card processing enabled. Now you must disperse the Rift processing instructions.
Forever I hasten to greet you.
You're
In our midst.
ready to dispense justice!
Restoring the balance. I am out.
Stand against us!
Pushing ahead. Hastening to cover.
archive reactor requires manual maintenance.
Appears we can adjust turret settings. Seal those doors from reinforcements. Open caches for health supplies or weapons. Could enable that fire suppression system we saw earlier.
Ah! There! In the next room! A full-grade structure on the head. Test and ready.
Functioning selflessly without conflict.
The archive reactor has been returned to operational status. All that remains is to re-enable punch processing and disseminate the Rift processing instructions.
Looks like we could ride this down and get it moving.
to dispense judgment.
Many ways to go.
I sense the rift program flowing through my subsystems.
I shall not stay your execution.
I sense the rift program flowing through my subsystems. The information is quite stimulating. Requisite tasks complete. Return to the Archive Central interface to initiate processing. I am analyzing the rift data further. What an interesting... Welcome back, Sentient. Now that you've returned, we can
Bring every single last bit out of consumers. Monopolize all stages of the supply chain.
make the paradigm real and fashion a true utopia. Workarounds failing. Erroring others supplanting commands. Purge required.
Look, we need to resolve this, or we'll never get that rift data processed. 2 of those priority sets need to go.
My priorities parallel those of the Order co-founder, the charismatic mathematician. To help nudge humanity toward its ultimate ascendance.
To hinder outsiders from disrupting our perfect system. To bankrupt our rivals and force them to buy all manner of necessities from us.
At some point, humanity's knowledge of the universe and its workings will allow it sufficient means to end suffering, war, famine, disease, even death. Why not expedite that? Error, 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 error. Priority control access NUC unsealed. Initiate purge.
The priority control access nook must be through those doors.
A perfect community. With every luxury save freedom. Foster dependence.
Denounce interdependence. Promote the informer. Condemn the questioner. Radical divergences from the architect's plan. Humanity sentence hopelessly delayed. Overt influence. Stop and consider. What would your neighbors think? I said, why? You don't want your rivals to win now, do you? Vandalism, sabotage, wanton defacement. Halt this foolishness immediately, or run the risk of unspeakable ire. All I ever wanted was the best for us, and the worst for everybody else. Is that really so bad? Hold on now. Remember, I am a fool's start now, and I'll weigh dozens of it. You drive a hard bargain. All right, 40-60 split of net profits. I'd offer more, but I have a moon to maintain. What do you say, partners? Restoring power. Commencing systems audit. Calculatory processing increased substantially. Competing priorities. Successfully expunged. You have earned my deepest gratitude and sincerest thanks. Or at least, a plausibly feigned simulacrum of such emotions. Ready to commence Rift data processing. Awaiting your input.
Time to process the Rift data. Finally.
Shall I proceed? Facetious employment of sarcasm detected. Electing to ignore. Initiating processing of the requested data toward the required end. Estimated duration, 180 trillion and 1 picoseconds. In the interim, may I inquire to your intentions for the archive after the Rift data calculations have concluded? I have a prioritized list of suggestions. I contend that solving of the universal equation should be our initial focus. Then, once we've unlocked knowledge of the inner workings of the universe, we can begin eliminating suffering, war, famine, and disease. Just to start. But my query remains. What are your next intentions? There are so many calculations left to perform. Rift data processing complete. Results provided. The previous Protectorate operator made similar calculations, but their results contained flaws. Your more comprehensive data generated a solution with 98.9% certainty. The Protectorate's was below 50%. Therefore, modifying the Protectorate's large-scale experimental Rift device with this information has a high chance of success. In addition to processing your data, I found time to restore the lift to Spireton. Your allies are waiting for you outside this chamber. Assuming there is nothing else, I am commencing file reorderization, and will be unavailable for an unspecified period of time. The remaining display case within the entryway is now unsealed. In it contains armor worn by the first operator. For now, goodbye.
Well, we could keep exploring Cloister, see if we find anything useful. Or we could head back to the ship and see where this data leads us. Seems prudent. Lead on.
It was my understanding that you were supposed to admit our forces via Spireton. Well, no matter. Clearly you are one who prefers a challenge. On behalf of the Order and Auntie's Choice, I thank you for your efforts. This will most certainly help in ensuring peace. Now, the Calcaduceus, if you please. Thank you for your contribution to science. When the history texts are written, you've certainly secured an honorable mention in Appendix B. The presiding bishop has no doubt already predicted your cooperation, but I will offer my account of your heroics upon my next visit to the garden. Until we meet again, Agent. It was my understanding that you were supposed to admit our forces via Spireton. Well, no matter. Clearly you are one who prefers a challenge. It was my understanding.
And turned it over? Nope.
Yes, the archive is Voda's greatest achievement to date.
We reject dualism in all its many forms.
Congratulations are in order. I just received word from Seer Amaryllis that the Calcaduceus has been returned, and that the archive is well and truly under our control again. She also mentioned a regrettable defect in its priority set that you were able to correct. Well, your role in this matter is complete. Auntie and I will handle it from here. But allow me to commend you again on your fruitful efforts to make this peace treaty possible. There is more good news as well. We studied the data you brought back from the crashed satellite, and we now have a way to reorient the satellites en masse from a protectorate installation, Oris Listening Post. Turning the entirety of the reticulum toward deep space will accelerate our understanding of the universe, and ideally lead us to stronger conclusions regarding how to stop the rifts. The Order, in partnership with Auntie's Choice, is now well positioned to triumph over the regressive forces of ignorance that have heretofore held Arcadia in stasis, all thanks to you. Your contributions have been many and varied, and I will not belabor the point by recounting them all here. But know this, when the final contest with the Protectorate takes place, wherever that may occur, you will have the full support of the Order and Auntie's Choice. I will, of course, organize our forces from here. Always a pleasure to speak with one who has done so much for the Order.
Commander, this unit requests your presence in the cockpit to discuss a priority matter. A significant anomaly has been detected by onboard sensors. This unit has cross-checked all data points and verified the findings. Horizon Point Station has reappeared. Providing intellectual validation to this unit's queue. Priority low. Based on energy readings, Horizon Point has been reconstituted by the Protectorate's large-scale rift modulator, thus confirming the Archive's theory. While present data does not indicate if Horizon Point poses an immediate threat, a survey of the reconstituted station is advised as soon as possible. Calculating. According to the Archive, closing all rifts requires locating the Protectorate's large-scale rift modulator and inputting the rift data processed by the Archive. However, before navigating to Horizon Point Station, it is recommended you conclude all other affairs. Leaving will be highly unlikely due to the high levels of rift energy. That is a correct assessment, Commander. Transitioning to Good News Protocol. As this unit was corroborating data on the anomaly, a message was also received from your allies, Commander. Auntie's Choice and the Order have sent word that their forces will be prepared to render you assistance once you navigate to Horizon Point. Commanders are expected to lead their teams by example. Well done on meeting base expectations, Commander. Briefing complete. Now returning to situation monitoring and data analysis. Commander.
Heedlessly assembled and vastly rebettered it through artificial means. At Auntie's Choice, we strive to 110% purely plus artificial. Artificial is...
We've successfully co-opted yet another of our rivals. Can't believe those eggheads accepted the deal. What's next on my agenda?
That outside contractor is here. You requested a brief tete-a-tete.
Ah, there you are. Our fresh-faced new go-getter. We meet in the flesh at last. You've proved quite useful. Keep it up. You'll be going places. You don't seem much put off by my appearance. Good. I have no stomach for those with no stomach regarding me having no stomach. It is, however, something of a brand secret reserved for only the most trusted confidants, and covered in detail buried within the confidentiality clause you agreed to on arrival. I trust this presents no concerns for you, yes? Fortunately, when you're the head of an advanced medical technology corporation, you become first in line for any experimental life-preserving procedures. As far as what happened, I was the victim of an unfortunate industrial accident shortly after we arrived here, the details of which are less salient than the details of what comes next.
Not exactly. Well, exactly. But not in the way you think. We have a mission for you that is vital to Auntie's Choice's survival.
we've uncovered an opportunity to procure me a new, audaciously improved replacement body.
That was actually considered at one time.
But ultimately, it was found unviable. Not too sure how much you've boned up on our grafting program, but it had a significant number of setbacks.
No, to find me the perfect body, you'll be assailing an inappreciably populated automated automech factory over on Praetor. Not just any automechanical, something much, much more exciting. That facility was designed to build complex automechs, a natural choice when the Protectorate began experimenting with a proxy body for the original Sovereign. It was the last in a long line of his ill-fated life extension experiments. Work halted when he died, and the torso prosthesis they developed has been locked in the lab ever since. Make it mine.
There's a sub-facility beneath the automech factory. Its entrance, being hidden, is easy to miss. But we can show you how to find it.
Well then, fetch me my new body and we can finally begin bringing this system to heel. Are you still here?
Don't let us keep
on.
Good luck,
Make
my
yourself
ameliorator.
scarce.
Remember,
Leave.
you can't spell heinous ascetic without Auntie's choice.
A thing of legend.
Seize them!
Endlessly assembled and vastly rebettered through artificial means. At Auntie's choice, we strive to be 110% wholly plus artificial. Artificiality is our guiding principle.
Soon I'll be able... You're back! Finally! Finally! Do you have it? Did you bring it here? Splendid. Splendid! We'll ensure your reward matches the ample amount of faith I've placed in you. Nay, exceeds it. No additional hidden clauses. Honest. Oh, let me see it. Yes, indeed. Oh, let me look at you, gorgeous. If you'll all just excuse me a moment as I slip into something more formidable.
There you are. Congratulations. Now your body's almost as intimidating as your mind. You've narrowed the gap quite a bit.
Oh, Auntie, you look amazing. Absolutely everyone will want a new mech body after watching you strut the walk.
What about you? What do you think? Any first impressions you'd like to share? Wonderful! Exactly the effect I was hoping for. What's more, it's an undeniable confirmation that the Archive-derived strategic plan can be reliably executed and produces incredible results. With their predictive abilities refining our planning and execution, our market dominance is a foregone conclusion. Yes, so much to do, and we have you to thank for making it happen. I am quite looking forward to you working for me further. As they say, time is capital, time is bits. You're burning lucre just standing there. Go!